Hi, my name is Gary Wybinga, and this radical story is for you. Last fall, I sold my three-bedroom home in Grand Haven, Michigan, and I moved to Grand Rapids, Michigan, into a two-bedroom apartment. And that move was long overdue, and it was all about spending too much money. And it came to my attention that I was spending way too much money several years ago, actually, when I came back from a Cambodian trip, when I had met people on this trip who live for less than $1 a day, and opened my mailbox upon returning and found this water bill in my mailbox where I'm spending nearly $2 a day on water. And you might imagine the guilt that I had about that, but feeling like I just couldn't do anything about that water bill. I needed to have a nice yard in the subdivision I was in. And so that began this journey of, I'm spending too much money on the wrong things, and people in other countries just do not have what I have. It was last year, though, when I read the book Radical by David Platt, that the Lord really began to drive home the fact that I needed to move. And he did that in a number of ways, but primarily highlighted to me how selfish I had been with my money. This has to do with tithing. I was a tither, 10%, very legalistic about it, and very prideful about it. And so I just realized something has got to change, in that I was saying to God, you get 10% and I get 90%. So, and I would take the 90% and spend it on whatever I wanted to spend it on. So after reading the book, I looked at the budget and decided if I want to change in a radical sort of way, I'm going to need to sell the house, because it's the house and the costs associated that really drains the budget. And so the process began. It took me a long time to sell the house, but I am so glad that I am free from the house and the way that I was spending money. This year, now, after moving into the apartment, I no longer have a water bill, which is awesome, to not spend that $2 plus per day on water. And my gas bill, which had been $2.50 a day average, is now less than 75 cents a day. And that's just for natural gas service, in that last winter I never turned on the furnace, which is just remarkable. I live in Michigan, and the coldest it got in my space was 66 degrees. And it's just awesome, and just a sign from God, I think, that the move was a great move. So now I have much more money to give away, and I'm a giver, so that brings me a lot of joy. And I also have changed the way that I give, from not looking at the budget, but looking at opportunities and asking God, what do you want me to do in this opportunity? And he tells me, he speaks to me about these things, and I give. And it's awesome to be able to give a lot more than I had been giving. So God has radically changed my life in this area, and he is a very, very generous God. And I hope that by telling this story, you can experience him as a generous God too.